So we opened up our pool today. We started off the day about 8 o'clock getting a truckload of water, around 6,000 gallons. We lost a lot of water this winter because of the cover pushing water out over the sides. Just because we had a lot of rain through the winter, more than normal. Less snow, more rain, and I didn't do a good job of keeping the water off. But since we had the cover off of the pool, we went ahead and pressure washed the deck and decided that we wanted to redo it. And we originally talked about just putting a good stain on, but we really wanted to add some texture and to really fill in some holes. And I wanted to do just a quick product review, some video of it. We're trying out a new product. Deck Correct by Cabot. The brochure says, durable foot-friendly deck resurfacer, fills cracks and locks down splinters, rolls on easily. They also say tip, stain your vertical surfaces with matching color Cabot solid stain color. So this is a tintable deck stain, and this has a real nice grit to it. When we started to fill up our paint tray out of our 5-gallon bucket, this stuff is thick, like pudding thick. It does not flow or pour real easy. Notice how much it sticks to that cup. So it doesn't cover a whole lot. It actually only covers, the bucket says 75 square foot at 2 times covering. So I take that as 150 square feet. We have roughly 600 square feet of deck here to cover. So we got 8 gallons. It's so thick, it's even kind of hard to get onto the brush. What do you think about it?
It looks pretty.
It looks pretty.
It's filling in the holes.
That's what it's designed to do. This Deck Correct is designed to kind of fill in some holes, put down some texture. But it does say it takes 2 coats right out of the gate.
Keep you from getting splinters.
It's supposed to cover up those splinters, kind of creates a shell over top of everything. We've read a lot of people who've tried this where it started to peel up after a couple of years. Honestly, the price is not a lot of different from a real good stain. I mean, it was mid $30 a gallon at Lowe's. And if it lasts 3 or 4 years, I think that's as good as any stain that we've ever used here. The last stain had lasted about 3 years before we thought it's about time to do it again. You can see these boards over here actually haven't even been pressure washed. There's some new boards inside of there, but these boards haven't even been pressure washed because the cover was over it. You can see the line, kind of where the pressure washer had stopped. I just took the cover off the pool yesterday. It's a little cloudy. You can see there's a big lump of something in the middle. That's 100% from me. I just accidentally dumped a whole bunch of pine needles right into the pool. So I gotta get those out. We had a truckload of water delivered this morning, 6,000 gallons. Our pool was really far down, but hopefully this weekend we can get the sun on it. The kids are going to be wanting to get in the water here soon, but it's going to be a few days before it gets up to a reasonable temperature. So far it's going on really fast. I'm working to death watching Vanessa stain this deck. Actually, I'm going to finish putting on some boards and stuff, set the tripod, turn on time lapse, and just watch this kind of come together. So Vanessa did a fantastic job of getting this first coat on. We started to work on a second coat, and a little bit of a rain shower started to pop up. We hadn't gotten very far, so we just packed everything up and went inside. But this stuff is really great. It puts on a really thick coat. Actually, we would have probably had the second coat down, but rain kind of started coming in, and just look at, you can see the grit actually in that, and some dirt. It's filling in the gaps. I'm hoping that the second, you can see where it's filled in some gaps here, or cracks. I'm hoping the second coat, and it kind of looks like we might actually have enough for a third coat. I think that this is very nice. It looks very nice. Vanessa did a fantastic job, and I'm real happy with the outcome so far. So all in all, I think that this material, Deck Correct, is going to be really good for us. It really has a nice texture. You can really feel that. So that'll help with it being on the pool. Kids will be able to get on and off and out of the water, on and off the deck without slipping. They'll have ability to walk around without it being slick. The biggest thing that I've noticed is how to stain in between your boards. So if you've got a very wide gap, like half an inch or wider, you'll probably be okay to get down inside of there. And that's a really big gap. Or if your boards are actually touching, butted up to each other, that would work really well. Ours is kind of in between there. It's just like 1/8 of an inch wide, and it's wide enough that we can't get a brush down in there, and I can't really get the material to work down onto the sides. I'll show you what that looks like, but that's the biggest thing that I think maybe negative so far from all of this, is really just how do you get in between your boards where it really doesn't show up. And you can see that contrast in colors. And you can see right in there, and it's not really that noticeable. Maybe it's just because I'm a little OCD about things, but you can see where just really couldn't get that stain down in there. I think if we probably worked at it real hard, we'd be able to get it. But for the most part, in the places the boards are really close together, you can see that it filled in. We don't have any gaps. It filled in a lot of the cracks really nicely. Looks like there's some pine needles that got rolled in too. That's the beauty of having a pine tree. You can kind of see, actually, I can't see it with my eye, but there's a line right here. That's where we had, that was the last section we stained, so it is the wettest section. It still needs to dry a little bit. Vanessa did a great job. This project turned out really well. It has really kind of rejuvenated this deck, and I can't wait to be able to use it this summer. So my recommendation is really based on what condition your deck is in. If you've got some older boards starting to splinter a little bit, if you've got a deck that is not quite ready to be replacing boards, but you're looking at it going, I'm gonna have to replace boards here in the next few years, this will extend the life of that deck. It does a great job of putting down a texture. Even on new boards, I think that would be a good thing. My recommendation is, if you're in that situation, this stuff is gonna work great. Nice texture, gives your board some grip, good for around the pool, seals and coats any splinters. That's been an issue that we've had from time to time. I'm very happy with this. We'll have to watch it over the next couple of years to see how it holds up, but initial reaction to this is a really good product. I'm really happy with it. Really, I said what I didn't care so much about, how to kind of deal with the gaps, but aside from that, it went on, it covered really well. It's a good product. I hope it holds up for 3 or 4 years like I originally said, but all in all, I think if you're in that situation, you should give it a try. Gonna test that sound, because the wind won't stop, nor will the air conditioners.